Have you ever wondered how aging changes not just your body, but your perspective on life? Do you feel like the truths you once believed are being tested in unexpected ways? Aging is more than just growing older. It's about facing hard truths and redefining how to live fully. In this video, we'll explore powerful tips to protect your peace, reclaim your happiness, and strengthen the relationships that truly matter. These insights aren't just advice. They're tools to help you thrive in your golden years. Stick around, because what you'll learn might just transform your life. Let's dive in. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. The first tip is, do not blindly trust everyone who approaches you. At first glance, this may seem like a common piece of wisdom, something you've heard countless times before. Yet, as we age, this advice takes on a profoundly deeper meaning. Loneliness, a shadow we once dismissed, can begin to loom larger, wrapping itself around us with an almost unbearable weight. We find ourselves yearning for connections that feel genuine and warm, for people who can light up the quiet corners of our lives and make us feel seen. And yet, in this longing lies a vulnerability, a fragile, tender part of ourselves that not everyone will treat with care. It's heartbreaking to admit, but not everyone who steps into your life has the purest intentions. As we grow older, we often soften, becoming more empathetic and more willing to see the best in others. It's a beautiful trait, this open-heartedness, but it can also make us targets for those who exploit kindness. Perhaps you've experienced it firsthand. Someone who seems to appear during your darkest moments, offering solace and companionship. At first, it feels like fate, like you've found a kindred spirit. But over time, you might notice a pattern. This same person seems to vanish the moment you're doing well, the moment your life starts to brighten. It's almost as if they thrive on your struggles, on the power imbalance that your vulnerability creates. The painful truth is that not everyone in your life values you for who you are. Some people are drawn not to you, but to what they can take from you. Maybe it's money, favors, or simply the emotional satisfaction of knowing they can influence you when you're at your lowest. Perhaps it's a family member who only reaches out when they need financial help, or a friend who knows you'll never say no to their requests. They sense your generosity and your reluctance to draw boundaries, and they capitalize on it. Doesn't it sting to realize that someone you trusted may have been more interested in what they could gain than in the connection itself? But let me tell you this isn't about becoming cynical or closing yourself off from the world. That would be a tragedy of its own. Instead, it's about learning to be discerning and to approach relationships with mindfulness and wisdom. It's about listening to your instincts, noticing patterns, and understanding that trust is something earned over time, not freely given to just anyone who walks into your life. Protecting your peace, your stability, and your self-respect is not selfish, it's necessary. After all, how can you pour into others if your emotional well-being is constantly being drained? Imagine this, a life surrounded by people who truly care for you, who lift you instead of weighing you down. Picture yourself in your later years, looking back with a sense of calm and contentment because you chose quality over quantity in your relationships. Wouldn't it be beautiful to have a circle of friends who stand by you, not because they need something from you, but because they cherish the person you are? These connections are rare, but they are worth the effort to find and nurture. True friends and family will honor your boundaries. They won't push you to give more than you can or take advantage of your kindness. Those who truly value you will understand if you take the time to observe their actions, to ensure their words align with their behavior. And here's the silver lining. When you start guarding your heart and choosing wisely, the right people, the ones who enrich your life, will naturally rise to the surface. So as you journey through the years ahead, remember this. While companionship is a universal human need, it's the quality of those connections that truly shapes our lives. Trust, yes, but do so with care. Protect your peace as fiercely as you would protect your most cherished possessions, because your mental and emotional well-being is priceless. In doing so, you're not only giving yourself the gift of a fulfilling life, but also honoring the people who love you unconditionally. That's a legacy of love and strength worth creating. The second tip is to stop living to please others, especially your family. I know just how heavy it feels to face this truth. It's uncomfortable, even painful, to admit out loud. But the reality is undeniable. So many of us have spent our lives bending to the wishes and expectations of others, our children, our grandchildren, our spouses. We pour ourselves into ensuring their happiness, working tirelessly to meet their needs, often telling ourselves that this endless giving is the ultimate expression of love. And while love is selfless, there comes a point where that constant sacrifice stops being love and starts feeling like a cage. Let's be honest. Shouldn't this phase of life finally be your time? A time to rest, nurture your own needs, and pursue the dreams you've long tucked away in a corner of your heart? Yet, instead of feeling liberated, you may feel the pressure of others' expectations growing heavier, not lighter. It's as though the more you've given over the years, the more others expect from you. These demands are often silent, unspoken but deeply understood. And the hardest part is realizing that this giving is not always fair. Who decided it was your job to carry everyone else's burdens? Think for a moment. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, why do I feel so empty even after all I've done? Why does it feel like something is still missing? You've spent decades giving everything. Your time, your energy, your health, and even your dreams. And yet, that ache, that yearning for something more, remains. Why? Because no matter how much you give, it's never enough. There will always be more that others want or expect. And while they lean on you, have you ever paused to wonder, who's looking out for me? There's a truth many of us are too afraid to confront. Some family members, and even friends, can unintentionally take advantage of our giving hearts. They lean on us for emotional, practical, or financial support, often without fully grasping how much they're asking. They assume your time, energy, and resources are limitless, something they're entitled to. But what about you? What do you gain from this? Sometimes all you receive is a token thank you, if even that. Other times, it's not gratitude at all, but an expectation that you'll keep giving, as though it's your duty. And when you finally need help or support, you may find yourself asking, where are they now? Who's here for me when I need someone? If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. This stage of life is not meant to be defined by endless giving. It's meant to be about reclaiming yourself. It's your time to chase the passions you've set aside, to rediscover what brings you joy. Imagine doing the things you've always dreamed of, traveling, picking up a hobby, reading, or just relaxing without guilt. And let me tell you this, there is no shame in wanting that. None. You've spent your life caring for others. Now it's time to care for yourself. Stepping away from these ingrained expectations is not selfish, it's necessary. It's about preserving your well-being, reclaiming your happiness, and living in a way that feels fulfilling. If the people in your life truly love and respect you, they will support this shift. They will encourage you to put yourself first because they understand that your happiness matters just as much as theirs. And if they don't understand, that is their challenge to overcome, not yours. You have done more than enough. You have given more than your share. It's time to release the guilt, stop asking yourself if you're being selfish, and recognize that prioritizing your happiness is not a betrayal of love, it's an act of self-respect. You are not abandoning anyone. You are simply embracing the freedom and joy you've earned. So here's my heartfelt plea. Stop living solely for others. Embrace this new chapter of your life as your own. You have spent years, perhaps even a lifetime, giving endlessly, nurturing others, and putting yourself last. Now, it's your turn to receive, to breathe freely, and to live without the weight of others' expectations. You deserve to wake up each morning knowing you are free to do what brings you peace, what fills your heart, and what makes you smile. This is your time to reclaim the life you've always deserved, without guilt, without hesitation, and with all the love and respect for yourself that you so generously gave to everyone else. This is not selfishness. This is freedom. This is joy. And most importantly, this is your right. The third tip is, don't be afraid to distance yourself from toxic people, even if they are part of your family. Family often feels like the cornerstone of our lives, a place of belonging, identity, and unconditional love. It's where many of us seek comfort and safety, an anchor in a chaotic world. Yet, as we navigate the complexities of life, we inevitably face challenges within these relationships. Sometimes, the very people who are supposed to provide love and support bring pain, frustration, or toxicity. This creates an inner turmoil that's difficult to reconcile. The pull between honoring family loyalty and preserving your own mental and emotional well-being. It's a struggle that can feel overwhelming, especially when guilt, societal expectations, and a lifetime of ingrained beliefs weigh so heavily on your heart. When we're younger, we often endure mistreatment with the hope that things will get better. We tell ourselves there's time to mend relationships, to forgive, to heal. But as the years pass, it becomes painfully clear that time is not endless. Each day becomes more precious, and the energy we once spent tolerating harmful behaviors feels like a greater sacrifice. How many times have you silenced your pain, swallowed hurtful words, or accepted disrespect simply because society, or even your inner voice, told you that family must come first, no matter the cost? Society loves to romanticize the idea that family is everything, and that love for family should be unconditional. But let's face the hard truth. Unconditional love doesn't mean enduring behavior that shatters your spirit or compromises your well-being. Love, even in family, must be rooted in mutual respect and kindness. A relationship that consistently drains your emotional energy, fills you with dread, or leaves you feeling unappreciated isn't love, it's a form of bondage. Think about the dynamics in your own life. Is there a child who constantly criticizes or disregards your feelings? A grandchild who only calls when they need something? Or perhaps a spouse whose warmth and respect have long since faded? These relationships, though deeply tied to your identity, can become a source of immense pain. Letting go of toxic family connections or setting firm boundaries may feel like an act of betrayal. But in reality, it's one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. As we age, the value of peace, joy, and emotional well-being cannot be overstated. This phase of life is not a time to endure more pain in silence. It's an opportunity to create a space filled with love and serenity. You have the right, no, the responsibility, to prioritize your happiness. It's not selfish, it's survival. Your emotional health is sacred, and preserving it is essential to living a fulfilling life. Imagine how freeing it would feel to no longer bear the weight of toxic relationships. Envision a life where you are surrounded by people who uplift and cherish you, who see your worth not for what you can provide but simply for who you are. By setting boundaries, you take back control of your time and energy, allowing space for relationships that bring you joy instead of sorrow. You deserve that. You've always deserved that. The truth is, that family should be a source of mutual love, respect, and care. When those elements are missing, clinging to the relationship out of guilt or obligation only perpetuates the cycle of pain. Choosing to step back is not an act of abandonment, it's an act of courage. It's saying, I value myself too much to let this continue. You are not responsible for fixing everything. You are not obligated to sacrifice your peace for the sake of preserving a bond that harms you. This decision isn't easy. It requires strength and self-compassion. It might even invite judgment from others who don't understand your choice. But remember, this is your life, and your happiness is worth more than someone else's opinion. True family, whether biological or chosen, will respect your need for boundaries and will celebrate the joy you find in reclaiming your peace. So, Take a moment to reflect on what you truly want for this chapter of your life. Do you want to spend it carrying the weight of unresolved hurt, or do you want to fill it with love, respect, and fulfillment? You have the power to choose. You have the right to surround yourself with people who make you feel valued, respected, and at peace. This isn't about giving up on family or love. It's about redefining it. It's about honoring yourself and creating space for genuine connections. Take a deep breath, trust in your ability to set boundaries, and embrace the joy and freedom that come with prioritizing your well-being. Every day is a gift. Choose to fill it with the relationships and experiences that bring you the peace and happiness you so deeply deserve. The fourth tip is to stop waiting for others to recognize your sacrifices. Take a moment, just one quiet moment, to reflect on the countless times you've placed others before yourself. Whether it was your children, your partner, your parents, or your friends, you've likely given more than anyone ever asked for. You may have set aside dreams that once lit a fire in your soul, shelved personal ambitions, or even surrendered parts of your identity, all in the hope that one day they would see it. You thought someday they'd look at you with eyes full of gratitude, acknowledging the depth of your sacrifices with a heartfelt thank you. It's a comforting idea, isn't it? That your efforts would be seen, appreciated, and celebrated. But life, as you've likely learned, doesn't always work that way. That moment you long for, that acknowledgement of everything you've poured into others, may never come. It's a painful truth to accept. Those silent hopes, those nights spent replaying your acts of kindness, might only be met with silence. And the emptiness that follows can feel like a deep wound, one that questions everything. Your choices, your relationships, even your worth. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. You might find yourself silently asking, did it matter? Did they even notice? And when the gratitude you hoped for doesn't come, disappointment often takes its place, lodging itself deep in your heart. Over time, that disappointment can harden into resentment, a resentment that creeps into your memories, tainting once beautiful moments with bitterness. It can seep into your relationships, creating walls where there was once love. Worst of all, it can make you question your very nature, leaving you wondering if all the selflessness, all the sacrifices, were truly worth it. But let me remind you of something profoundly important. The value of your sacrifices has never depended on someone else's recognition. Those acts of love, the times you chose someone else's happiness over your own, are a reflection of who you are. They showcase the strength of your heart, the depth of your compassion, and the resilience of your spirit. Their worth lies in what they say about you, not in how others responded, or failed to respond. It's not easy to let go of the need for validation. After all, we're human. We crave acknowledgement and appreciation. But here's the truth that will set you free. Your peace and happiness should never hinge on someone else's words or actions. When you place your joy in the hands of others, you give away a piece of your power, a power that is yours and yours alone. When recognition doesn't come, disappointment follows. And when disappointment lingers, it creates a cage that traps your spirit. Imagine breaking free from that cage. Picture a life where your happiness isn't tied to whether others see the beauty of your sacrifices. Instead, you find fulfillment in knowing your acts of love were genuine, your efforts pure, and your intentions good. That's the kind of peace no one can take away from you. As you grow older, this becomes even more critical. Time is precious, and every moment deserves to be filled with joy, not weighed down by unmet expectations. Think of how liberating it would feel to let go of the need for acknowledgement. Imagine the freedom of waking up each day knowing that your worth isn't dependent on anyone else's opinion or gratitude. By releasing that weight, you permit yourself to live fully, free from disappointment, resentment, or regret. Letting go doesn't mean your sacrifices were meaningless. Far from it. It means you gave out of love, not because you needed a reward, but because it was who you are. And that's a powerful thing, to love selflessly, even when no one is watching. This acceptance, this quiet acknowledgement of your worth, is a gift you give yourself. It allows you to stand tall, knowing that every choice, every act of kindness, and every sacrifice mattered because you made them. So now, it's time to shift your focus. Live for yourself. Celebrate the life you've built, the love you've shared, and the person you've become. Not because someone else tells you to, but because you see the value in your journey. Take pride in the strength and courage it took to be selfless, and know that your kindness, your resilience, and your heart are enough. They've always been enough. By letting go of the need for recognition, you reclaim your power. You free yourself to live a life filled with joy, peace, and fulfillment. This isn't just a decision, it's an act of love toward yourself. So hold your head high. Embrace every moment with the knowledge that you've lived with grace and generosity. And now, it's time to live with freedom, a full heart, and an unburdened mind. You deserve it. Always. The fifth tip is to stop using your age as an excuse not to change. This might be a difficult truth to accept. It might stir discomfort, resistance, or even a sense of unease. But that very discomfort is a sign of its importance. How many opportunities have you let pass by, telling yourself, "I'm too old for that"? Whether it's learning something new, taking up a long-forgotten dream, breaking an old habit, or daring to love again, age often becomes the excuse we hide behind. It's an easy justification, a protective wall we build to avoid stepping outside of our comfort zones. But here's the truth: as long as you're breathing, it's not too late to change. This is a liberating realization, a key that unlocks the door to life's untapped possibilities. We're often told, implicitly or explicitly, that after a certain age, we're meant to settle, to stop dreaming, and to accept things as they are. Society whispers that our lives are fully formed, set in stone, unchanging. But this is nothing more than a myth, a damaging one that robs us of growth and transformation. It convinces us that our later years are for winding down, not leveling up. And yet, the opposite is true. What if, instead of seeing this stage of life as a time of decline, we saw it as the most powerful period for change? What if we recognized that the wisdom and resilience we've gained make us more capable than ever of embracing new adventures? Think about it. You've lived through heartbreaks, challenges, triumphs, and joys. You've learned patience, empathy, and the value of time. These experiences have given you a depth of understanding that your younger self couldn't have imagined. Yet, how often have you held yourself back, convinced that certain dreams, opportunities, or passions were for someone younger or more energetic? How many moments have you let slip by because you believed it was too late? Perhaps you've thought about the places you could have visited, the hobbies you could have pursued, or the relationships you could have deepened. It's a bittersweet realization, isn't it? But rather than letting it weigh you down, let it ignite something within you. Because the truth is, it's not age that closes doors, it's the belief that you no longer have the key. Here's a radical idea. Age is not a barrier, it's a strength. Each year you've lived has added layers of wisdom, resilience, and perspective. These qualities equip you to navigate change more gracefully than you ever could in your youth. They allow you to approach challenges with a calmness and clarity that comes only from experience. So, whether you're 50, 60, 70, or beyond, know this. The only thing truly holding you back is the belief that it's too late. And while that belief might feel deeply ingrained, it's a chain you have the power to break. What if, instead of seeing your age as a limitation, you used it as a foundation? Imagine it as a solid platform from which to leap into new adventures. Yes, it might be uncomfortable at first. But remember all the other stages of life you've already navigated. Childhood, adolescence, adulthood, parenthood. Each phase came with its challenges, and yet you persevered. Why should this phase be any different? Why let this chapter be any less vibrant, any less meaningful, any less full of discovery? Picture the life you could create if you shifted your mindset. What if you revisited dreams you once shelved or embraced entirely new ones? What if you picked up a hobby you always wanted to try, started a business you once imagined, traveled to places you've only dreamed of, or built deeper, more meaningful relationships? The possibilities are endless, and the rewards of choosing growth over stagnation are immeasurable. This is not about proving something to others. It's about doing something for yourself, something rooted in the deep self-respect of knowing that your life is still full of potential. Change at this stage of life carries a unique depth. It's not about impressing anyone or meeting societal expectations. It's about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that every breath, every moment, is an opportunity to evolve. You've earned the right to live a life that excites and fulfills you. And the truth is, the biggest limitations are not in your body or circumstances. They're in your mind. The years you've lived are not a countdown to the end. They're a testament to your resilience, your strength, and your capacity to grow. There's extraordinary beauty in deciding to change now. It shows that the human spirit is timeless, boundless, and ageless. Let go of the myth that you've missed your chance. Instead, embrace the truth. Every moment is an opportunity for transformation. With the wisdom you've gained, you are uniquely positioned to create a future filled with purpose, passion, and joy. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. So, stop viewing your age as a finish line and start seeing it as a launch pad. Use the lessons you've learned, the strength you've cultivated, and the love you've shared as fuel for this next phase. Let go of the fear, the doubt, and the myth of too late. Embrace the idea that life, at any age, is ripe with possibilities. This isn't just a new chapter. It's an entirely new book waiting to be written, and the pen is firmly in your hands. The 6th tip is, don't cling to the past as if it were your only refuge. As we move through the seasons of life, nostalgia often becomes a steadfast companion, wrapping us in the glow of memories from days gone by. Those moments of laughter shared, love felt, and dreams chased can feel as vivid as if they happened only yesterday. It's natural, even comforting, to revisit those times. They remind us of who we were, what we cherished, and the roads we've traveled. But as soothing as those memories may be, there's a delicate line between cherishing the past and living in it. When the past becomes your primary dwelling place, you risk losing touch with the richness of the present and the possibilities of the future. How often have you found yourself thinking, back in my day, things were so much better, or if only I could go back to when I was happier? That kind of thinking is seductive, offering the illusion of safety and certainty. But it also has a shadow, a tendency to make the present seem less vibrant, less meaningful. The danger lies in believing that your best days are behind you and that the future holds nothing as bright as what you've already experienced. This mindset doesn't just steal your joy. It steals your time, trapping you in a cycle of comparison that leaves you unable to appreciate the beauty of the here and now. The present, for all its imperfections, is the only moment that truly exists. It is real, tangible, and filled with opportunities waiting to be seized. Every time you lose yourself in longing for what was, you let precious moments slip away. Moments that could be spent creating new memories, discovering new joys, and embracing the life that still unfolds before you. Imagine reaching the end of your journey and realizing you spent more time looking backward than forward. How heartbreaking it would be to see how much life you missed while clinging to what was already gone. Life is a series of seasons, each with its challenges, blessings, and lessons. Your past shaped you. It gave you wisdom, resilience, and stories to tell. But it doesn't define the totality of who you are. Those golden days, as cherished as they are, were just one chapter in a much larger story. And here's the beautiful truth. You are still writing that story. Each day offers a blank page, an opportunity to create something new, something meaningful. Your past has its place, but it doesn't have to be the whole book. The challenge, of course, lies in shifting your focus. It's natural to feel a sense of loss for the youth, energy, or simplicity of earlier times. But if you let that longing dominate, you might miss the unique beauty of where you are now. Even in later years, life continues to offer surprises, growth, and connection. The world around you is still vibrant and full of opportunities. You just have to choose to see them. Will you open your heart to the present moment, with all its imperfections and uncertainties? Or will you let nostalgia keep you tethered to what was? Remember, nostalgia is a gift, but it's meant to be a visitor, not a permanent home. Let those memories remind you of the richness of your journey, but don't let them overshadow the potential of today. Life still holds so much for you. People you've yet to meet, experiences you've yet to live, and joys you've yet to discover. The future, uncertain as it may be, is brimming with possibility. Living fully means stepping into each day with hope, curiosity, and the belief that fulfillment can be found in every stage of life. It's about letting go of the idea that your best days are behind you and embracing the truth that the best moments might still be ahead. Let nostalgia be a gentle reminder of where you've been, but don't let it blind you to where you're going. Allow yourself to love this moment, to live in it fully, and to create memories that, one day, you'll look back on with just as much fondness as you feel now. Life is still happening. It's unfolding right here, right now, calling you to be a part of it. Don't just stand on the sidelines watching it pass by. Step into it. Let each day be a celebration of what is, a promise of what could be, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. You are still alive, and as long as you are, the story is far from over. The seventh tip is, don't masturbate every day. Masturbation, when done occasionally and in moderation, is a natural and healthy way to explore your body and relieve stress. It provides an opportunity to connect with yourself, better understand your desires, and release built-up tension safely and privately. For many, it can be a form of self-care, a moment to tune out the world and focus on personal well-being. However, like any behavior, when it becomes excessive or compulsive, it can signal a deeper issue. It may reflect an attempt to escape unresolved emotions, mask feelings of loneliness, or cope with dissatisfaction in other areas of life. Take a moment to reflect. What is driving you to turn to this habit so frequently? Many people find themselves in a pattern of excessive masturbation, not because it brings true satisfaction, but because it provides a temporary distraction or relief. Stress, boredom, frustration, or emotional voids often fuel the habit. Yet, while it may seem comforting at the moment, over-reliance on this behavior can ultimately leave a person feeling drained, unfulfilled, or even disconnected from themselves and others. What begins as a seemingly harmless release can quietly evolve into a habit that perpetuates feelings of emptiness and dissatisfaction rather than resolving them. As we age and grow, it becomes essential to cultivate balance and intentionality in all aspects of our lives, including how we approach physical pleasure. Masturbation, when it becomes a daily ritual or a compulsion, can drain energy, cloud mental clarity, and sometimes create emotional distance. It may build an invisible wall, one that separates you from genuine intimacy and meaningful connections. The habit, when overindulged, risks replacing real, life-enriching experiences with a solitary routine that offers fleeting relief but little long-term fulfillment. If you find yourself stuck in this cycle, it might be time to explore the underlying emotions or triggers driving the behavior. Are you using it to cope with stress? To avoid confronting a sense of loneliness or dissatisfaction? To numb yourself to unresolved emotional pain? Recognizing the root cause is a powerful first step toward breaking free from compulsion and restoring balance. Now, imagine channeling that energy into something that feeds your mind, body, and soul. Picture the calm of a peaceful walk at sunrise, where the world feels fresh and new, and your thoughts have room to breathe. Think about the joy of diving into a hobby you love, whether it's painting, cooking, gardening, or even learning a new skill. Consider the depth of fulfillment that comes from meaningful conversations with friends or family, or the escape a captivating book or movie can provide. These experiences offer nourishment that goes beyond fleeting pleasure, creating lasting joy and deeper satisfaction. This isn't about demonizing masturbation or advocating for abstinence. It's about balance. It's about cultivating a healthier, more intentional relationship with yourself and your needs. When you reduce reliance on this habit, you may discover a greater capacity to experience pleasure in other, more profound ways. Pleasure can expand to include the beauty of everyday moments, the thrill of creative expression, and the warmth of human connection. By embracing this perspective, masturbation becomes one aspect of a broader, more fulfilling lifestyle rather than the focal point. Think about how life might feel if your pleasures weren't confined to quick moments of relief, but instead were woven into your daily experiences. Moderation doesn't mean giving up pleasure. It means allowing yourself to explore it in diverse and meaningful ways. Without the pull of compulsion, you may find yourself more present, more attuned to your surroundings, and more capable of embracing life's authentic joys. This shift opens the door to a richer, more connected existence, one where pleasure enhances your life rather than dominating it. In finding balance, you're not just avoiding the pitfalls of overindulgence. You're unlocking the potential for a more vibrant and satisfying life. You're learning to appreciate your own company, to face emotions directly instead of masking them, and to savor the depth of experiences that make life truly meaningful. It's about creating a rhythm in your life that allows room for exploration, growth, and connection. Masturbation, like any form of self-care, is most beneficial when it is part of a balanced, intentional lifestyle. By stepping back and reevaluating the role of this habit in your life, you're taking a step toward greater self-awareness and self-respect. You're opening the door to new possibilities, new joys, and a more profound understanding of what it means to live fully. So, let this be an invitation to reflect, reconnect, and rediscover the pleasure of living in balance with yourself. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed today. Whether it's about finding balance, embracing change, letting go of the past, or reconnecting with your true self, these insights are all about living a richer, more fulfilling life. What stood out to you the most? What have you learned that you can start applying to your own life today? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share one thing you've learned from this video and how you plan to bring it into practice in the comments below. Let's inspire each other to take those first steps toward positive change. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us create even more meaningful conversations. Thank you for watching, and we can't wait to hear your insights below.